Hey YouTube, it's Dave here. Nice to see you again. Today, I'm going to talk about how you label or perceive current events determines your future life path. And so it's very interesting to see with coronavirus today how people are very polarized in their view of why this is happening and where this is taking us. On the positive side, you've got some people saying, we can look at what's going on with pollution going down and the earth healing itself. And this is a way to look at our effect on the environment and how we can make changes because of that. We've got other people saying this is a time for sort of a pause and self-reflection where you can, kind of look within yourself with all, if you've got some time on your hands and sort of readjust your lifestyle and see what suits you and what doesn't as a method for personal growth and development. But then on the other side, you've got people who are labeling this as an act of bioterrorism and are so steeped in conspiracy theory that they think this is just another method of some deep shadow government trying to, you know, tighten their grip on the control of the population. And then you've got other people who are just so scared they think it's the end of the world, so they've just got to hoard everything, toilet paper, food, you name it, because a part of them is really, really scared and they think that's what's going to happen. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about how people are choosing to perceive what's going on and how it's going to affect your future and their future and the path that they choose to move forward in life and experience. So every future possibility is that it's just a possibility. It's not set in stone. It's very malleable. It's very open. But every future possible event has a certain resonant frequency or vibration that it resonates at. And in order to move towards that future, you have to think, feel, act, behave in a way that is in alignment with that future resonance. And this happens on the positive side of things. It happens on the negative side of things. So if there's a benefit to be had in the future, you have to think, feel, and act and behave in a high vibration in a way that matches that positive future event. And on the negative side, if you're in a low state and if you're coming from fear and you're thinking, feeling, and behaving in a way that matches that possible future negative event at a very low vibration, you're going to meet up with that and draw that into your reality and draw that into your life and in the path that you are on and that you are choosing to experience. So what that means practically is that the more you surround yourself with conspiracy theories about why this is happening that create more fear, and the more you share it with your friends and the more you talk about it, and this is all the bad stuff that's happening, and the government's trying to control us, all that kind of stuff, the more you draw that into your reality, the more you make it likely, so likely and higher of a higher probability that it will come into reality and to existence for you. And the same goes with the worst case scenarios that, that you have to hoard all this food and all this toilet paper and all these resources. That type of mentality draws towards you a reality where resources become so scarce that it becomes true. What reality in the future do you really want to participate in? Do you really want to experience? Do you want to experience a future where we can use this as an opportunity to change our habits and heal the planet, help the environment, or become a better person and help others? Or do you want to use this experience as a platform to draw more fear into your life and into your future? I think the answer should be obvious when you ask it that way, but fear is really, really addictive and it's hard to let go of those conspiracy theory things sometimes. So what you do is you just recognize what stories you are surrounding yourself with about why this is happening and where it's taking us. And if you don't like where that is taking you, all you have to do is change that definition. That's all. It's not that big a deal. All you have to do is change that definition, look for other stories that provide a more neutral or positive platform for where this whole coronavirus experience is going, and then surround yourself with those types of stories. And if that's still not enough for you to sort of detach from the fear-based results that you see in the future, then you have to start sharing those positive views and positive experiences into the collective, because this is a collective event. This affects everybody, and it is the collective conscious definition, conscious and unconscious definition of what is happening here that moves us all towards a future timeline as to whether this ends up being a good thing or a really, really horrible, terrible thing. And so it is very, very important that you get, at the very least, a very neutral definition of why this is happening out into the collective. Because if the collective is in a great amount of fear, those of us who are not in so much fear are just going to be dragged along with that into that experience. And that's not a good thing, not what most of us want to experience. So just pay attention to how you label what is going on in your life, how you define it, and just imagine where that's going to take you. And if you don't like it, just change the definition, change the belief, change the perception, and you change your path in life. Now, you don't have to do this just with what's going on now with the coronavirus. You take it and you apply it to every scenario in your life. How do you label or define what is going on in your relationship with your significant other? How do you define or label what's going on with your job? And see what you're doing there. See the story that you're creating, because the story is just it. It's your creation. You create it, you experience it, and the more you label and define events, whether it's job or relationship or anything else, in a certain way, the more that is magnified back at you, making it more real for you. The mechanism is self-reinforcing, and it keeps doing this louder and louder over time until you finally understand and finally get how your perception or misperception is contributing towards the situation, whether it's positive or negative, and then you can finally understand how you're defining it and then choose to change it. So that's how the mechanism works. You label it, you define it, you experience it, that experience gets magnified back at you and keeps getting magnified until you understand what's going on and choose to embrace it or change it, and that's it. So remember, you have the power to choose to change, to define what's going on, to perceive what's going on, and to label what's going on. And with that power, you can choose to make this whole experience, coronavirus or otherwise, shift for yourself and for the collective gradually into a place that isn't so terrible, that isn't so horrible, and that isn't so fear-based. So that's it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this was informative, and much love to everyone. Take care.